Good morning, dear students. Welcome back to English session. The poem CLM, that is Caroline L. Mansfield, written by John Mansfield. So, friends, in the previous session, we have discussed first two stanzas, right? And first two stanzas, what does the poet tell in the first two stanzas? In the first two stanzas, in the first stanza, the poet tells us how he was born in his mother's womb, how she made him a man when he was unable to see, breathe, or stir, right? And every time he was growing, he was sucking the blood of his mother, right? He was destroying her. It was a slight death, partial death, right? And we have discussed that mother died when she delivered the sixth baby, that was a girl named Nora, right? So the poet has, including him, six siblings, right? In the second stanza, we have discussed that the mother has already gone in the grave. So if she wants to come out to see what her son is doing, whether he is using the life that is given by the mother for good cause or bad cause, the mother, if she comes, in third stanza he describes that she will not be able to recognize him. Let us learn from the third stanza. If the grave's gates could be undone, undone means opened. Children, if the grave means, you know that everyone, graveyard. If imagine, the poet imagines that if his mother anyhow comes out from the graveyard, so what would she do? She would not know her little son. Know means recognize. Why she would not recognize her little son? Because the little son is now grown into a taller man, probably. Right? I am so grown, children. Why he says I am so grown? He's grown unworthy, ungratefully. He did not recognize the value of his mother. The memories of his mother we have studied in the last stanza, that they are dusty in his mind. He is forgetting his mother's memory. They are fading away from his mind. So he is feeling very ashamed of himself. At a certain moment he realized that he is going in a wrong way. He is not using the life given by his mother. He is not using the teachings given by his mother. So he feels very sorry for himself and even sorry for his mother, who died untimely. So I am grown, I am so grown. What does it mean? I have grown without any thankfulness, without any gratitude of my mother. If we should meet, she would pass by me in the street. The poet says that if we are meeting in the street, she will not be able to recognize me, because the actual meaning is, it is not the mother's fault, it is a fault of the child, because he has changed himself in such a way that mother never expected. He is not using the knowledge, he is not using the teachings given by mother in his practical life. So he is very sorry. He feels very ashamed that his mother would not be recognized, such an unworthy fellow, unworthy son. Unless my soul's face, let her see what my sense of what she did for me, right? Unless the mother, unless the poet recognizes the dedication of his mother, the mother would not be able to recognize him. Unless his soul's fits admits, unless he reflects in his mind, unless he introspects what his mother has done for him, the mother would not be able to identify him, the mother would not be able to recognize him. Then what he should do, what he must do, he must first recognize what his mother has done for him, then his mother would definitely recognize him. Let him grow taller, let him grow fatter, mother will recognize him. Friends, this is what the poet is feeling, very unworthy for what he has done in his life, isn't it? Fourth stanza, friends. What have I done to keep in mind my debt to her and womankind? These two lines tell us that the poet is not at all worthy son of his mother. He did not recognize, he did not, he was unable to pay the debt of his mother, not only for his mother, but he has insulted the entire womankind. He has insulted all the women in the world, not only his own mother, but done he has been unjust to all the women in the world. So, children, he says that he is asking the question to himself, did he keep in mind what his mother has done for him? Did he keep in mind what dedication, what contribution his mother has done for making him what he is today? That woman's happier life repays for all her, for those months of wretched days. Wretched means very miserable days, my dear friends. When mother gives birth to a child, these days are very difficult for him. Wretched means very miserable, very sad, very painful. You can write down painful days. Which days are painful? Right from the conception. Conception means when the before birth. I am talking about that, before birth, conception. Right from the day of conception till delivery, and even after that, the mother's life is very difficult, because growing a child is not an easy task, isn't it? So the poet is so unfair with his mother, so unworthy, so ungrateful to his mother, that he feels ashamed of himself, and he says, it is do you think he is only talking about making the life happy of his mother, then he can pay the debt of his mother? No, my dear friends, not only his mother, but every woman that he meets, every woman that comes in his life, he must make that woman happy. Maybe his sister, his wife, his daughter, anyone, his friend. If he is able to make every woman happy, then only in true sense he will be able to repay what his mother has done for him. Children, one thing I hope you understood from the poem: when one woman does good to you, it doesn't mean that you are doing good to only one woman. You are going to be good to every woman in your life. Maybe your teacher, your friend, your sister, your wife, anyone, whatever is there, right? So we must be grateful to every woman, because woman is incarnation of God, isn't it? So, because the one who gives birth, right, she controls the world, right? The mother, the woman who holds the cradle, right? She holds the world also, right? She controls the world. Who holds the cradle, that lady controls the world. The poet says that these days were very difficult for my mother, for every woman, and if any man wants to really do something for the woman, he must first respect that woman, acknowledge her worth, true worth, and her dedication, not only for the man, for the entire mankind, right? For all my mouthless body means when the poet was unable to speak when he was in the mother's womb. Do you think he was not having the mouth? He was having the mouth, but he could not speak. He did not have the speech, right? He could not speak that time. For all my mouthless body leeched, birds releasing hell was reached. My dear friend, leech, I just want to tell you, leech is a insect that, it's aquatic insect, worm you can say, that sucks the blood. So the poet compares himself with a leech. Children, remember, leech is an insect that sucks the blood. So he is aquatic insect. You might have seen that whenever there is a wound, it will enter your wound, right? That leech, everyone knows about that leech, isn't it? That enters your wound. Yes. So he compares himself with the leech and right? Birds releasing, means before, what is means before. Before birds releasing, hell was reached, and the mother went to the hell. The mother died because of me. The poet is blaming himself, because I was the leech, I sucked my mother's blood. He means every child who sucks the blood and then grows. It is not easy, my dear friends. Growing, I told you, growing a baby in the womb is not easy for a mother, because she has to feed the baby with her blood, with her breath. She gives everything. She gives her breath for you, that so that you can survive. She gives her blood for you so that you can become strong. And he is feeling very sorry because he held himself responsible for his mother's destruction. Children, because she lost her beauty, she lost her health only because of her children. So the poet, after all, realized that he was an insect. He compares himself with the leech that sucks the blood of from the human body, and he did the same with his mother, and because of that his mother experienced partial death, or probably she died because of the children, or the worry of the children, the worry of growing them. Children, I hope you understood this last answer. What have I done or tried or said in thanks to that dear woman dead? The poet is asking question to himself. Really, have I done anything for my mother? Have I tried something to do for my mother? Have I said something to thank for my mother who is dead woman, who is my dear mother, who is dead, who has gone beyond the world? Did I really say something good for her? Did I really do something to pay her debt? Children, it means that the answer is no. The poet is really ashamed because he has not done anything. So friends, last time I told you that the person who has lost his parents, he can understand their place better in the life. Otherwise it is very difficult. So friends, if our parents are next to, our parents are next to God, they are the living gods. So respect them, obey them, love them, care them, and I am sure you will be the luckiest person on the earth. You will not have any fortune than your parents' blessings, right? That would be the best fortune, that would be the best benediction you will have from your parents. Benediction means blessings, isn't it? Men triumph over women still means today also. Till today men are winning over women. Triumph means they control the women. They rule the women. He is feeling very sorry. Still men want the women to control. They want them to be inferior than them. Inferior to them. Men are controlling women. He is giving his own example. Maybe he is not treating his wife equally. So he is trying to, he is doing wrong with his wife also, maybe, because it shows that men triumph over women still. Men trample women's right. What do you mean by trample? They ignore the rights of women and treat them as if they are not important. Trample means they do not give the women's right at will. At will means what they want to do. Children, many times women complain that men do not allow them what they want. Many women want to build their career, make their career bright. They want to do lot of things that men are doing. But many times the man who is, male dominated society, right? Patriarchal societies there. You might have studied in social studies. Patriarchy and matriarchy. Patriarchy means where father is the dominant, head of the family, and matriarchy means where mother is the head of the. In some of the states in India, like tribal states, if you go to Manipur and all, there the women are the head of the family. That's great, my dear friends. And the daughter is the legitimate heir for their property. But here in most of the states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, you see the male are dominant and the male son, elder son will be the heir for the property. Now the picture is changing, even girls also have their share. So friends, and men are not giving the women right to live according to their wish and will. And man's lust loves the world untamed. Lust means his passion, his greed that does not allow the women. My dear friends, the man is very lusty. Lust means full of greed, right? Rose means roams about, that lust is roaming around, and the world untamed. The world is not under control because of the man's greedy nature, because of the man's unjust treatment to the women. The world is not under control. The world is not experiencing the unity, right? There is no unity to be seen, even though we claim many times that man and woman are equal, but in many of the families the women are still the sufferers. They are still undergoing the great trials, ordeals. So friends, let us believe in the gender equality and treat women equal, right? Give them their legitimate rights. So, O grave, keep shut lest I be shamed. And the poet says that, O grave, graveyard, don't open the door for my mother to come out till I feel ashamed, till I have the feeling of expiation, repentance. Then until that, don't let the doors open, don't let my mother come out, let her rest there in the grave. And once I feel ashamed, once I take all expiation, right, once I correct all my errors, my mistakes, then let my mother come out. Then who can understand me, who can recognize me, who can hug me? Not in the reality, but at least in my dreams. Children, this is what the poet says. He's feeling very unhappy, he's feeling very ashamed for what he has done. He has not behaved well with his mother. So let us discuss the question answers. Yeah, I'll discuss some of the question answers. Rest of you can attempt yourself. Many students again and again grumble for the notes. Friends, everything is explained very detailed. I am going to give you the key answers orally, right? You can copy them down in your fairs. Answer the following questions briefly. The second line, my mother's life made me a man, right? So, what does it mean? Option A, just states a natural phenomenon of a mother giving birth to a son. Option B has a hint that he was born at the cost of his mother's life. Children, the second answer is correct answer, because this is B answer is the correct answer, right? Because at the cost of mother's life he has become what he is today, because his mother died because of for him. The phrase her beauty in line 4 refers to, what do you mean by the physical beauty of her mother, or the beauty of his mother's physical and emotional trauma at the birth of a child? Trauma means extreme injury, extreme pain, trauma. Children, do you think that the mother bore extreme injuries, extreme pain when during delivery, right? And she died also while giving birth to her 6th baby, daughter. So the second answer is the correct answer. B answer is correct. Third, why does the poet use the present tense in line 5 and 6? In 5 and 6, what he says? Line 5 and 6. I cannot see nor breathe nor stir, but through the depth of some of her. Answers are, I'll read the options to emphasize that this very existence now is made possible by the death of some of her, to emphasize that every moment of his in his mother's womb destroyed a part of her life, to show that his very birth and life are responsible for his mother's partial death. So friends, what is the correct answer for third? Third's answer is B, to emphasize that every moment of his mother's womb destroyed a part of her life. Friends, just see what the poet says, right? What does it in line 10 refer to? It, can you tell me? It refers to the life given by mother to the poet, or you can write also the teachings, but better the correct answer is the life given by mother. Okay, next question. What is the name? Her beauty in line 12 refers to. Her beauty. What is her beauty? Right? His mother's physical beauty or her son, the poet? The correct answer is, my dear friends, her son is the correct answer, right? Her son is the correct answer. Dusty in the mind and line 12 refers to the fading memory of his poet mother in his mind, or the state of his dead mother's mind which has forgotten the dear ones left behind. What is the correct answer? The fading memory. Fading memory means he is forgetting his mother's memory. He is forgetting what his mother has given for him. Seventh question, I am so grown in line 15 means, I told you already. What are the options? See that he has grown so much physical that he should not be able to recognize him, that he has grown so unworthy of all her sacrifice that she would not be able to recognize him. So what is the correct answer? Option A and B are both are correct. So C option is the correct answer, because he is grown so strong physically that his mother would not be able to recognize, because she had died when he was hardly 6 years old. Now he is tall, young man, and also he has grown so unworthy of all her sacrifice that she would not be able to recognize him, isn't it? Next question. Eighth, which line in stanza 3 suggests that the poet is totally unworthy or ungrateful? Which line in stanza 3? Go to stanza 3. Eighth line is there, right? So underline the line, eighth line. She would not know her little son, I am so grown. Up to here you can underline. Eighth line, she would not know her little son, I am so grown. Up to there the answer is, right? Line number 8. Which phrase in stanza 4 suggests that the concern goes beyond his personal experience? In stanza 4, which line tells us that the concern has gone beyond his personal experience? So the lines I will tell you on page number 126. What have I done to keep in mind my debt to her and womankind? These are the two lines. Let me repeat again. What have I done to keep in mind my debt to her and womankind? These are the two lines. Corrected? Okay. Next. Providing a happier life to one's mother will repay for all her sacrifice. Is this what the poet says in line 21 and 22? The poet says this, but more than that, he also says that making other women's life better also can help one repay for all their mother's sacrifice. What is the answer? That is correct, but also making other women's life better, right? Stanza 4 has some very powerful and forceful images. What is compared to leech? What is compared to leech? The poet before birth is compared to leech. How is it a leech? Because he has sucked the mother's blood and grown. What is unusual about the use of the word leech? Actually, the word leech is used here. Actually, the word leech is a negative word that destroys, right? And generally, the mother feeds the baby to grow, and the mother is not actually destroyed, but the contrasting ideas are used here, right? Why is B in birth capitalized? Because that birth is very important. It's a very important phenomenon, you can say, in the child's life, right? So it is highlighted in line number 24. For whom is birth a hell? For a mother, the birth is a hell, because it is a death for mother, so it is given actually in a capital letter, right? For the mother, for all her pain and suffering during the birth of a child. Whom is a birth hell? For the son who feels that it was because of his birth that his mother died, though partially. Actually, the answer is correct. For both of them, it is a death, because he feels that his mother died because of him, and even mother feels that mother has suffered a lot of pain, right? You can attempt the remaining questions by yourself, right? Rhetorical questions are used there. Rhetorical questions means questions are used. Man's lust, you can write. What is the meaning of 13th question? Man's lust, man's basically sexuality, man's lust for power over women. Both and A and B is correct answer, because man's lust for women is also mentioned here. Both are correct answer, right? Here both answers are correct. The poet has used many poetical devices in the last line in order to draw read attention to it. What typographical deviation used in the last line? This grammar we can see in the next session when we are discussing about the figures of speech. That time we will discuss about it, right? What is the dominant feeling is there? A dominant feeling of guilt, sense of ingratitude, sense of shame. What dominant feeling of the poet is there, right? Sense of ingratitude, right? B is the correct answer, right? Then answer the questions below. You can do yourself. Pair activities there. Cite the 3 examples from your family, locality you live in of discrimination against women. Give 3 examples where you found women are not treated equally. 3 examples in your family, in your neighborhood, anywhere. 3 examples of men trampling upon women's rights. 3 examples, right, where men are not giving. Don't mention any person's name, just write. 3 examples where women are not given the rights by the men, right? And then what should we do to empower women so that they can fight against gender discrimination and oppression? This will be a homework for you. You will write about it. What can we do to empower women so that they can fight against gender discrimination and opposition, right? This is all about the poem, and I'm sure you learned it. Read the poem again, write it down, write down the new words, write the summary of the poem and attempt question answers. Thank you for watching my video. Have a good day.